What's up guys, welcome to the Tailgate. On this episode I'll be making some onion barbecue sliders and talking week 5 football. Hey guys, welcome back. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Armando. I've been in the fantasy sports industry for multiple years now. You can find my work at footballdiehards.com. I am also the host of the Chalk Talk podcast. You can find that on iTunes, and I run the 1 week season Twitter handle. If this is your first time at the Tailgate, we created the show to combine 3 of my favorite things: barbecuing, craft beer, and sports.
Let's get to grilling.
Alright, now that the burgers are on the grill, let's go to the lock of the week. Alright guys, this week the Baltimore Ravens head to Cleveland to take on the Browns. The Ravens are 4-1-1 in their last 5 road games against the spread and 13-4 in their last 17 division games against the spread. On the other hand, Cleveland is 6-22 in their last 28 games and 6-17 in their last 23 home games. Baltimore is 5-0 in their last 5 games against Cleveland against the spread and 4-0-1 in their last 5 games in Cleveland. If I'm taking any action this week, it'll be on Baltimore Ravens. Each week we'll be naming our MVB, most valuable beer. This week's MVB is Voodoo Ranger IPA. Cheers. Let's jump on over to the bargain bin. The first player I want to talk about in the bargain bin is TJ Yeldon. He's 5,600 on DraftKings in a really good spot against the Kansas City Chiefs, who rank dead last in DVOA against the run and also have allowed the most fantasy points per game. In addition to that, they've allowed over 800 total yards to the position with 6 touchdowns. Leonard Fournette is not going to play this weekend, which is putting Yeldon in a start here against a really bad defense. He can run between the tackles and catch passes out of the backfield, making him a really strong start in all types of format. The next guy I want to talk about, Dion Lewis. He's playing against Buffalo Bills defense that really struggles against the run in a matchup where the game script might not play to his potential, but when you look at what he's done with Marcus Mariota starting in the game, has been very impressive. 19 targets, has caught 14 of those, and has outsnapped Derrick Henry 3-1 in both of those contests where Marcus Mariota has started. This is a really good matchup for Lewis, who I think has a very nice, safe floor in a PPR format such as DraftKings. The last player I want to talk about here is Aaron Jones, 4,300 on DraftKings. He gets a very favorable matchup against the Detroit Lions defense that has allowed the most rushing yards to running backs this season, as well as allowing the 4th most fantasy points per game. Jones has been very efficient since returning from his suspension. He hasn't been getting all the opportunity, but last week he did outsnap all the running backs on this Green Bay offense at 38% of the offensive snaps. There is some concerns because he's not getting the full workload here, but he is someone that is going to eventually start getting more and more snaps because he is the best running back here. He's been very efficient, high yards per carry averages here against a really bad defense. This is a really strong spot for him. I wouldn't suggest him in cash games because there is that volatility and the opportunity might not be there, but in tournaments he makes a ton of sense at a very cheap price here. Last but not least is Chalk Talk time. The Steelers and Falcons game is going to draw a lot of interest this week with a high over-under of 57.5 points. That means there are going to be a lot of popular plays from this game. There are 2 players in specific that I want to talk about here. Juju Smith-Schuster, 7,500 on DraftKings. I am playing this chalk. He's going to be popular, but he's just been lights out and is averaging double-digit targets per game. This is a really good matchup, one that he has a 23% advantage rating in. This is a situation where I'm going to go ahead and accept the fact that he's going to be popular, but I am going to plug into my lineups. Why? He just has a ceiling that's through the roof with a very safe floor. He's emerging as one of the top receivers in the NFL and is in a phenomenal spot in a potential shootout. On the other end, Calvin Ridley, he has scored 6 touchdowns in the last 3 games. So yes, fading someone like this might seem absurd, and I get that. But the problem is that I expect some regression to happen here in the touchdown department. And this could be the week where we see Julio Jones emerge as the top receiver of this offense, like we all have been expecting. He hasn't received the touchdowns, but he's still leading in targets from this team. So therefore, I'm going to fade Calvin Ridley in a really good matchup, and it is scary because how efficient he's been in recent weeks. But I do think this is going to be the week where Julio Jones pops up and has a phenomenal game and outscores Ridley by a ton. So I will be fading Calvin Ridley and I will be playing Juju Smith-Schuster. Thank you guys for joining me at the Tailgate this week. If you enjoyed the show, subscribe below, tell a friend, follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Good luck to everyone this weekend, and I'll see you next week. Delicious.